Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a follow-up video on the farmland SPAC I've been talking about on my channel a great deal, and that company is GLEE, Gladstone Acquisition. And as you can imagine, this company is having IPO'd in September of 2021. It hasn't done a lot. And so we're going to be going over this video and also what to expect in the future if you can expect anything with this company. Because I was talking on Telegram and I noticed there are also some other people who invest in this company. So I'm going to cover the information I can find out in public on the internet and try to peek on what's going on. So the first thing is, as everyone knows, a SPAC, what happens is there's a custodian account. It's usually in the value of $100 million. So for example, you can see here, the market cap of Gladstone Acquisition is $134 million. I know their reserve account has $107 million. And what it does is you give this company your investment and they take that money and they look out for a company to buy and merge with and bring onto the stock market. It's really simple. This kind of company was very popular to invest in about 2 years ago now. All that's fine and dandy, but as you can imagine, well, if nothing happens, then nothing's going to happen to the stock price. And as you can see, having IPO'd below $10 at $9.89, the stock is only $10.12 today, effectively doing nothing. And that's because this company has still not yet had a combination, is still not yet brought on another company to go IPO with. And for those of you who don't know, this company has the same management team as Gladstone Land Corporation, which is a farmland company I've covered on this channel quite a bit. And over the past year, this company is also flat, only down 0.97%. I will say though, at the very bare minimum, I'm speaking for myself here, it's not great, but I don't mind that this SPAC hasn't done anything yet. And that's because if we compare it to the QQQ over the last year, that's down 22%. And the S&P 500, that's down 13%. So all things considered, I'd rather be flat than losing 13 to 22%, depending on what you're in. I know QQQ is very popular, but I also know that many people are index investors in the S&P 500. Now, one thing I am angry about, and I think this was a missed opportunity, this company took a long time to IPO. I think it was first announced that they wanted to in early 2021. The company finally did IPO in late September 2021. And as you can imagine, I was really ahead of the game on this. I knew that there was going to be high food inflation, and my back catalog proves it. I'm talking about this in May of 2021, right? And I have a video here 6 months ago, how to invest in the coming food crisis. I've been talking about food and agricultural stocks even up to 9 months ago here, as you can see. GLEE would have been perfectly positioned. There were so few agricultural companies in the stock market and would have benefited a great deal from the price action, I think, from the food shortages and the high food inflation we're seeing. So that's one thing to be upset about. Definitely there has been a missed opportunity. Though I'm going to show you later in the video, there's still time, and I still think there is some potential here. I'm still holding GLEE for full disclosure. I still own the stock. And the statistics do seem to bear it out. So inflation is dropping in the United States. These statistics are a little bit old. This is only as of July 2022. But if you look at the food inflation as of July 2022, again, it was 10.9%, which is one of the higher ones on this list. So we're looking at the general inflation rate, which is 8.5. The only thing that was really higher, I think, on here was energy inflation, which of course makes sense given what's going on with the energy right now. But one thing is interesting too, and this is getting to the idea that there was a missed opportunity here. You have an interesting tweet here from Taleb here, and I'll read it to you. And he says, "Why finance is hard. Wheat is trading below where it was when the Ukraine war started. Never fall for first order narratives. Fat Tony made his fortune shorting oil after the first Gulf War." And it makes sense. He's going to talk about why that's happening. The mechanism, over-adjustment to shortages, dollars to produce substitutes elsewhere, plus adaptations away from expensive product. The 1973 oil shock led to slow adaptation, speed limit, smaller cars, 1980s glut, and today things are much faster. And he's saying the same thing is happening with microchips. So all this is saying that the market reacted, and now wheat prices are more under control. And you can see something similar, again, with a company that's very similar, Gladstone Land. It peaked here in April up to $41, now it's down to $22, though obviously I was talking about this company for a much longer time. Overall, it's still dramatically up, again, 67% over the past 5 years. It is true that the price of food has come back down. It hasn't returned anywhere near where it was in 2020 and before, but also you need to consider, even if the price had come down, if this company had done an acquisition, you would have had an opportunity to exit in April, right, and potentially have a huge payout. And that was my investment thesis when I began. As you know, I mostly exited Gladstone Land at that time, and I was hoping that this company would have the same opportunity, though I was getting it even earlier and on the ground floor. That hasn't happened. So now let's look at going forward. So I have here the latest SEC filings for GLEE, which is Gladstone Acquisition, right? This is the 10Q as of, let's see here, June 30th, 2022. And I'll read this off to you. I read through there. There's nothing really too interesting. It doesn't say anything about how they're going to be doing their combination or if you can even expect it. But I'll read this to you. It says, "The company has until November 9th, 2022 to consummate a business combination or February 9th, 2023 if it exercises its option to extend its date. At a minimum, we're here now in early September. I think 2 months more to wait isn't that dramatic of a deal. And even if they do extend it to February 9th, 2023, I don't think that's so long. I don't know about you guys, but for me, time is moving faster and faster these days. I feel like February 9th, 2023 will be here way before I know it. So I think I'll ride this one out. Again, the thing with the SPAC is if it doesn't do the combination, as long as you're buying below the redemption price, which in this case is $10, you're going to get your money back. Unless, of course, and I'll talk about this later, you have the different kinds of stock in this company. So for me, you know, when I was talking about it, I talked about this company before it even IPO'd. I was collecting below the $10 rate. So I'll get out with my money and it'll be returned back to me. It's not really a big deal or a big concern. One thing I would be concerned about is if you have the warrants in this company, there is a potential, and I'm talking about this is the ticker symbol GLEEW. If you have the warrants in this company, there's danger that if it does not do the combination by the dates I read before, early November and early February, there's a chance your warrants in this company could be useless. So it says here, if the company is unable to complete its initial business combination within the combination period and the company liquidates the funds in the trust accounts, holders of public warrants will not receive any of such funds respect to their warrants, nor will they receive any distribution from the company's assets held outside the trust account with respect to such warrants. Accordingly, the warrants may expire worthless. So for me, I considered that, and what I did is I sold all my warrants. I didn't want to hold them anyway. I'm not really a SPAC warrant investor kind of person, but that's something to consider and one thing to really pay attention to. Because we're coming up here now on the combination date. The initial date is now, I think, 2 months away. The final maximum date is now in February of next year, which is going to be here sooner than you think. So I'm being careful about that. If I had to speculate, the reason why GLEE hasn't done an acquisition, I think is because this market is so uncertain, there's so many ups and downs. Maybe the underwriters are nervous about creating an IPO with this company. They don't want it to hit the market at the wrong time, maybe if there's a massive downtrend in the stock market. That's total speculation. I have nothing to back it up other than I'm just applying what's happening on the macro level in the markets versus why GLEE isn't doing a combination. I did my usual research and I checked out the Gladstone Land earnings call. Usually in previous quarters, they've talked about the SPAC. The last time they talked about GLEE was in the one, I think, from quarter 2, 2022, and they actually said their combination would be in a few weeks, and obviously that hasn't happened. There's no mention of it that I could find in this earnings call transcript, so there's no more information I can get about it. So with SPACs, unfortunately, no news is bad news, but as you can see, for me, at the minimum, because how SPACs are structured, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I don't expect to dramatically lose in this company if it fails to make a combination. Of course, it is a downer that it didn't, especially when it had that golden window here. Because I bought in early 2021, I had that potential for another 4x with these two companies in obviously food and agriculture at the same time, which is really disappointing. Food investing is by no means done if you just look at popularity online here. If you type in food inflation on Twitter, you can see they're talking about food inflation every single day, right? And I think a lot of attention is going to keep on this. You see here people really, this has 10,000 likes here on Twitter talking about food banks and riots around food in Italy, Milan. And I still think there is potential for attention to be going on this company. But at the moment, as you can see, nothing is really happening. Quick pause. This video is actually sponsored by myself. So I want to start doing YouTube consulting and opening that up to the public. Before I was only do consulting with people in my network and friends of friends. So I actually made a 52-page PDF that goes in detail, literally click by click, how I do it, how I grew to, it says here, 481 million views and how I got 4 silver play buttons. And to find that PDF, it's linked down in the description. I made a website, it's called creatorheadstart.com, which you can find here. And to get the PDF, you can follow it in the description. It's got a lot of cool stuff like how to build a team, how to find the right freelancers, how to use AI tools to scale up and grow your channel. If you're not interested in growing on YouTube or turning YouTube into business, I totally understand it, but this is a new project I'm really excited about. It's also the reason I was gone for a month because I was pouring everything I could into this project and I'm totally excited and stand behind it 100%. If you join and get the PDF, you'll get complimentary access to the Discord, so that way I answer every single one of your questions about how to succeed on YouTube, and I really look forward to seeing you there. I'll be live streaming on this channel late Saturday afternoon to introduce Creator Headstart to everybody. This is just a quick heads up before that.